It's Merry Christmas. It is time to practice 45 minutes of live side split stretching. We are doing this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Doesn't matter what holiday it is, apparently. It's time. We do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little community, and hopefully, if we suffer enough on the ground consistently enough, we'll make a whole bunch of progress towards our side split goals. If that sounds fun, hit follow, hit subscribe. It's time to start some side splits training. Let's do it. We're going to start with our warm up. The first thing we're going to do is called hip cars. It is all about moving your leg through its full range of motion at the hip using your own muscle power. So we're going to start with lifting this knee as high as you can bring it. We're going to open up that hip directly to the side, keep the knee high, push against the wall or something for balance if you need it. Ooh, almost smashed a coffee cup behind me. Whew, dangerous. Rotate the leg up so that the ankle comes up. From the front, it's going to look a bit like this. From the side, it's going to look a bit like this. We're going to try to get to horizontal first, and then we're going to try to bring that ankle even higher. Whew. Then we're going to bring the leg down and back. Try to keep your body more or less straight up and down, but it's hard, so make do with what you can. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, really pull that leg behind you, bring this knee behind your standing knee, and feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Doing this with your own muscles, if you have tight hip flexors, is going to be a little bit hard, and that's okay. Just try your best. Whew, okay, that is one rep. We go front, side, rotate the ankle, and then come down. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side. We're going to do 10 on the right side. We're going to do 10 in reverse and 10 on the left and right. Cool? I said an extra 10 somewhere, but that's okay. Let's go. High knee. Open up that hip. Point the knee directly to the side. Rotate the leg so the ankle is as high as possible. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. And that is one. Let's go. Knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. Knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. That's 3 finished. Open. Ankle. Down and back. That's 4 finished. Knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. Knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. I think that's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Whew. That, ooh, dangerous. That is 10 reps. On the left side, we got 10 for the right, going right now. Whew. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. Ooh, I'm off balance. Even with the desk, I'm off balance. Hold on, shift the weight around. Focus. All right, high knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. I think that's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. And I think that is 10 and maybe 11. Oh, okay. Hip cars. Going forward. Done. It's time to do them in reverse. Let's go. Whew. I'm super out of breath today. I don't know what's going on. Keep on making these big loud sounds to exhale and inhale. Okay. It's time to go in reverse. We're going to start by bring the leg back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch in the hip flexor. Bring this knee behind the standing knee. Try your best to reach behind. Whew. Lift directly up to the side. Get horizontal first, and then pull that knee down. Lift that ankle up. Whew. Then do the opposite. Ankle all the way down. Whew. Lift that knee high, as high as you can, and bring it to the front. Whew. That is 1 rep. Let's go. We got 10 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I'm pretty sure that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, one more hip car done. We got one last leg to go. And I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm really tired. I don't know what's going on with hip cars today. But it's okay. This is the warm up. As we do them, as the muscles wake up, I'm sure I'll feel better after. Okay, let's go. Hip cars going backwards. Bring that leg back. Lift to the side. Rotate that ankle up. Rotate the ankle all the way down. Lift the knee high. Bring that knee to the front. Try to keep this knee in the front high as well. Let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2, 3, ankle up, ankle down, 4, back. Ooh, off balance. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I think that's 6. 7. Take a break if you need it. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 8. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 9. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Pretty sure that's 10. Okay. I'm gonna sip some coffee. Come back over to the chat and say hello. Happy holidays. Jeff Hall says this man has incredible balance, almost like zero gravity. That is so kind. I promise. 60% of the last 4 hip cars I've been holding onto the table or the wall. There's been moments where I was like, I used to do this without the support because I used to use just a blank wall in the past, like a week ago, and all the way till like 4 months before that. So I was like, why do I keep on doing this with a big lean and throwing myself off balance? Because I have noticed that during the hip cars, I'm trying to lift this leg so high that this foot is rotating out like this a little bit to help counterbalance, because I'm going like that. And so I took my hands off just for a little bit, for a couple of rounds, and I got tired immediately. So I appreciate the compliment, but I've been doing this for like every single day for a year, and it's taken a lot of practice, and I still need a lot of support. So that is just some extra information for you. All right, I'm gonna scroll down, or I guess technically up, into the chat and see what else is up. Che is here, has joined, and has liked the live a lot. Says hello. Hello, Che. Welcome, welcome. I'm in bed. Can I do this in bed? That's a great question. You can do a lot of it in bed, but most of it, no, you cannot. Hip cars, the thing that you were just watching, you can absolutely do in bed, right? This is mostly a high knee. So if you're laying down on your back, you can lift that knee high. You're not putting in that much effort because gravity's not fighting against you, not trying to pull your leg down, but that's okay. You can definitely open up that hip to the side and try to pull your knee towards your face because you'll be laying on your back. You will not be able to as easily rotate this leg back or bring the leg back behind you unless you were doing a version of the hip cars that look a little bit like this. You could technically get on all fours. You can technically lift that knee as high as you can. You can lift that knee to the side as high as you can. You can rotate that leg so the ankle comes up, and you can bring that leg down and back. Technically, I guess you're lifting it up really high, flexing those hamstrings, flexing those glutes, fighting against gravity, lift, 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 and that is 1 rep. It kind of messed up over here when I was doing the ankle up, ankle down thing, because I forgot what I was doing. I was saying in my head, ankle up, ankle down. I was like, why am I doing ankle down? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, well, that is the version you can kind of do in bed. Oh, nice. Thank you, Travel with Roxy, for filling that info gap in. You've been getting that out of your pencil. I have no idea what that means. All right. Sarah says, hey, welcome back, Sarah. Alex says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Astrid says, I'm in bed already. Oh, no. Okay, well, that's okay. If somehow I convince you to get back out of bed, amazing. If I don't, it's fine. Daniel says, we're all following along from the Bronx. Amazing. Welcome. Okay, let's go. We just wrapped up hip cars going forward, back, left, and right. Now we're going to move on into something a little bit gentler. It's called the elephant walk. We're going to try to pop into this 90-degree angle over here. If you're a little bit higher up, totally fine. It's part of the process. I want you to focus on taking this belly button, and trying to bring it down as low as you can go. You're going to feel the stretch in your hamstrings. You might feel it in the bottom of your glutes. And that is all good. That is exactly right. We're trying to bring the belly button down. We're not trying to bring the head down. We're not trying to bring the chest down. So you don't have to bend all of those things. We're focusing on the belly button. So if your head is coming down, but your belly button hasn't moved, don't keep doing that. That'll put a lot of pressure on your back. You don't need that kind of pressure. It's chill time, all right? Whew. So belly button all the way down. We're folding at the hips. That's what they are designed to do. We just don't do it enough to have that thing work very well. When we are here, I want you to start a little tiny bit of a wiggle. You don't have to do anything crazy. Just imagine like you're running in place, running up that hill. Stranger Things has come out. And I don't know if you're watching, but it is almost the end. And I am super excited to watch as soon as we are done with this live. What am I talking about running for? Elephant walks, right, not walking, not running, walking. We are gonna slowly bend that knee more and more. And we're gonna lean into the bent leg a little bit at a time. We're feeling that hamstring stretch and we're working the hamstrings while we're feeling that hamstring stretch so that they loosen up a little bit. So go ahead, bend one knee, straighten the other, switch to the other side, bend one knee, straighten the other, bend one knee, straighten the other. Keep that belly button low to the ground. Work those hamstrings. You should feel a whole bunch of like tight sensations in the back of your leg. And that is because there's a whole bunch of different muscles, a whole bunch of different tissue running through your leg. And they are getting stretched. They're getting forced to move. Maybe they're even rubbing up against each other inside that leg, getting forced to action. Whew. Because you are in this stretched out position, you're trying to make them work. All right, we have done a couple of seconds of these. Let's just do 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and come into a mini squat. Come on up into standing. Whew. Shake out those legs. If your calves are just a little bit tingly, your toes are just a little bit tingly, that is okay. From here, we're gonna get right back into that same position, but we're gonna work on our back and our shoulders and some rotation just a little bit. All right, we're gonna open up those legs, probably about hips width apart. Fold forward, bend one knee, straighten the other. So my right leg is straight. My left hand is gonna reach across the body. It's gonna push against that right leg. My chest is gonna rotate to the right. Right arm is gonna go up into the air behind me. My head is gonna rotate to look at the right hand behind me. And this is thoracic rotation. Thoracic rotation is basically just fancy anatomy talk for rotating the upper half-ish of your back and getting it to move a little bit. I'm pretty sure the only time you use this ability in real life is to check your blind spot or not, so you don't use this in real life. And that is a shame, because if you moved a little bit more, maybe your back would feel a little bit better when you get up in the morning or after you've sat and slouched in front of a computer the whole entire day. Whew. All right. I have absolutely no idea how many of these we've done, but I think it was like 3 or 4. We're gonna aim for 5 or 6, so do 2 more, 3 more, and we will move on from here. Take your time. Reach, 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 reach behind you. Ah. And once you've done a couple of those, you're feeling it in sort of the shoulder blades in the back, trying to pull those back, reach the arm behind you. You got a little bit of nice rotation in the spine. Then we're ready to move on. The next thing that we're going to do is the Cossack switch. It is the third of our warm-up exercises, and that's actually the most intense thing of them all. That's because we're actually doing reps. It's going to feel like a workout show and not a stretch show. And that's okay. This is part of the warm-up. Let's go. We're going to open up the legs decently wide. It's not super important. We're going to point the toes out 30, 45-ish degrees. Also not super important because we can adjust at any time. We have lots of time to adjust. The goal here is to drop down to one side and switch over from one side to the next. What I want you to keep in mind is I want your knees to travel in the same direction that your toes are pointing. So if my toes are pointing towards you guys, I want my knee to travel in the same direction as my toes are pointing. I want you to be very careful not to have your knee buckle in like this and your knee to go out that way. The knee is designed to do all those things. Those are very powerful positions to be in, but if you have not trained them, this is a lot of pressure on your knees and you haven't trained them. So don't do that. Cool? All right, we're gonna drop down to one side. I'm gonna open up my hip a lot to exaggerate and to also show you what I want you to focus on. You can angle your leg whatever angle that you want. From here, my Achilles tendon is feeling a nice stretch. It's going right into the calves of that leg. You're feeling a lot of tension here underneath the big fatty part of that calf, the big juicy part. And that's it. We're just feeling that stretch. In the front of the ankle, we're feeling a bit of pressure. We're feeling a little pressure in the hip. Your quads are probably firing extra overtime and they're tired. So now that you've worked on that ankle stretch a little bit, try your best to sit your hamstring on your calves and rest in a very squished down position like so. If your ankles come up when you try to squish down, that is a-okay. You can just let that be. We're gonna try and squish down. We're gonna try and hold this position and get a little bit more comfortable here. And then when we do the Cossack switches, when we actually move from side to side, it'll be a little bit easier on our joints, all right? On this side, while we squish, let's talk about this other leg. The heel is down, the toes are up, and the knee is pointing up. This is called leg external rotation. That's because if you were standing, this would be neutral. To externally rotate, your leg would be like, whoosh, see, toes are pointing that way. To come into that same position, but squatted on the ground, my toes are pointing up, external leg rotation. This is important because it gets your thigh bones out of the way of your hip bone, your pelvis, so they don't smash together when you're coming down, and lets you get into some side splits. Cool, so it's super important. We need that leg external rotation, and I'm highlighting it now, and I'm reiterating it, and I'm highlighting it again, because it's important. Cool? All right, we've hung on this side for quite a bit. Let's scoot our butts over to the other side. You can put your hands down, keep the hips low, get over to the other side, and before you go all the way in and sit down, work on that Achilles tendon stretch. Feel the calves getting stretched. Feel the pressure in the ankle, feel the pressure in the hip. Hang out here for a second. Your quads are firing. And now let's squish deep into that leg, into that hip. Rest your hamstrings on your calves and try your best to chill. It's okay if your ankle comes up a little bit. Over here, same thing. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. It's totally okay if you got into the position with your feet down, but I want you to make a pattern, make a habit of trying your best to relax in this position where the heel is down when you are all the way at the bottom. Cool? Whew, that's a lot of words. Chill here for a little bit, and we're gonna start doing the Cossack switches, which is going from side to side. We're gonna make this super easy to start, and then I'll add in a whole bunch of more difficult variations that you can choose to do if you are strong enough and you have good enough balance. So we're gonna start. You can start after I do a little bit of demonstration. You can start right now, depends on how hard you wanna work. We can put our hands down, shift our body weight forward so it's leaning into the hands. That will help reduce the weight on our legs, on our hips, and we can use that to get from side to side. I want you to try your best to finish each rep with your toes pointing up and your hip squished down on either side. As you get stronger, you can remove the hands. You can keep leaning forward and hang out in the same positions at the end. You can take these nice and slow and gentle. In the past, I have done these way too fast. I'm sorry. For everybody else who I've led down this super fast route and stressed out. And you should probably get started. Those are the two main variations. If you want to make these a little bit harder, you can stick your arms out in front of you. You can try to really strengthen your back. You can try to plant your heel down, keep that very stable on the ground, and shift your butt from side to side that way. You can also hold on to a quick little weight. It's actually a little counterintuitive. The weight could make these easier or make them harder depending on what your weakness is. If your weakness is flexibility, having that weight to counterbalance you will actually help make this exercise easier. But if your weakness is strength, then obviously holding something out in front of you takes a lot of energy and it'll make the exercise harder. I have not at all counted how many of these we've done, but I have done way more than 10 during the demonstrations. So I hope you've been keeping track. And if you haven't, we're just going to pretend we're at 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm pretty sure I just caught myself not actually pointing my toes up into the air on the last couple. So I'm going to make an extra big deal about it for this last rep. Oh, that is 10 plus, 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 plus. We are done with the Cossack switches. I hope you're feeling it in the hips. You're feeling it in the inner thighs. You're feeling it all over those legs, because that is the strengthening portion of our warm-up. Grab a sip of water, have some coffee. Actually, if you're about to go to bed, don't drink coffee. It's morning for me. And I need it. Okay, that was all of our warm-up. We are moving on into our stretches. The first stretch that we're going to do is the hamstring stretch. And the way we're going to set it up is we're going to drop down to one knee. We're going to extend one leg in front. We're going to fold forward. So I recommend you go grab a cushion for your knees. It can be a flip-flop, just to put a little bit of foam between you and the floor. It could be a couch cushion, whatever it is. Go ahead and grab it, and I'll see you in a second after I read the chat. Okay. Daniel says, we love you. Ah, that's nice. Thank you, guys. And I got a request to do a backflip. I don't think I've done a backflip in years, so I'm not going to try here in this tiny little box environment with sharp corners and tile floor. It's not, I have a feeling it's not going to end well for me, so I'm going to skip that. All right, scrolling. I'm going to try and find the last chat that I saw so I can be fair and see what is up. Ooh, like a fire hydrant. Yes, the hip car in a kneeling position, sorry, on all fours, looks like a fire hydrant when you lift your leg directly to this side. Hey, Anish. Art says hi on TikTok. I have stiffness in my hips and knees. Are there any stretches for that? Yes, your hips and your knees tend to be muscles or areas where there's a lot of muscle complexity. And a lot of the time, it's just as important, it might be even more important, to get stronger in each of the positions than it is to just focus on stretching them. Usually, it makes sense to do both at the same time. But if you don't have the patience to stretch, for example, you can focus on doing a lot of strengthening, and that will go a long way. So you said hips and knees are tight. Man, where do I start with this? There's so many exercises that you can do that will, you can count to 10, you can do 10 reps, you can do 3 sets, and you can get that thing done. I feel like when you first start exercising, stretching feels chill. It's less of an emotional commitment because you're not like pushing really hard. But because it's so relaxed, when you first start stretching, there's a lot of really advanced stretching techniques that are really intense, but you probably shouldn't get into that as the first thing that you do. doing something that feels a little bit more simple, like doing 3 sets of 10 reps or 3 sets of 8 reps, feels a lot more tangible, and it feels like an accomplishment when you get it done. So if that's the type of energy that you crave in order to get things done, then there's a whole bunch you can do for the knees. The first and most important thing is that you should work on some variation of a split squat. This puts a lot of pressure on the knee, but it's relatively gentle because a lot of your weight is behind you as well, and it forces you to get into this deep knee forward, bent, squished leg position. And as you come up, you work on strengthening the muscles around the knee from that bent position to all the way up. And it doesn't hurt that this leg is going far back. If you can get this leg really far straight and also strengthen it, you can use that to get this hip ready into a side split at some point. I am not there because I don't do very many of these dip split squats. I've only started a couple months ago, and they have been amazing for my left knee, which I had an old injury on. Okay, I am going to move on from that topic because I can talk about it all day. And that would make for this to not be a stretchy workout show. That would be a luxury show. So let's move on. We are about to get into the hamstring stretches. And actually, I just realized if you have just come in, you have no idea what we do. We do 45 minutes of live side split stretching every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is the relevant time for the Bronx. And we do this every day to practice consistency because that's the most important quality. We do this every day online to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes. I hope you bring good vibes into the chat, interact with each other, get to know each other. And hopefully we do a lot of consistent suffering and stuff on the floor so that we can make a whole bunch of progress towards our side split goals. If that sounds fun, if that sounds like something you want to do, something you need a little bit of support with, perhaps, you maybe want a little bit of community around, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We are doing this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, I'm going to do one more second of scrolling, and then we will move on. Sarah says, do what works for you. He always shows lots of alternatives. Thank you, Sarah. That's very supportive. Okay, I think that is most of the chat. And Sarah is in there answering questions for people. Lovely. Thank you, Sarah. All right, let's go. It's time for some stretches. I keep on forgetting. I keep on coming back to grab the cushion that I'm going to use. We're doing hamstring stretches, and we need a cushion for our knee. Okay? Come on back, and we're going to do them a little bit like this. If you have something big enough to put both knees on, great. If you have something just big enough for one knee, that's okay. You can be a little bit off balance. Point your hips forward, your chest forward, your head forward, everything forward. Then stick this leg that we're trying to stretch also forward. If you are struggling a little bit with balance because your hips are too close together, you can widen your stance just a little bit for stability. And we're gonna bring this belly button down. We always care about the belly button. We're gonna bring it down, fold forward, and we're gonna chill out here. The hamstrings are gonna tighten up. We did the elephant walks. You might have felt the hamstrings a little bit then, but now we are really going to feel them. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. I don't want you to set it up like you're doing a front split. You're going to reach all the way out over there. I want you to pull that leg in towards the hip socket so that you can really focus on just the hamstrings. We're going to fold forward, bring that belly button down, and the hamstrings are going to tighten up. It's going to be really uncomfortable. Maybe your calves are feeling some tension as well. That is a-okay. We're going to hang out here for a second. Then we're going to take a nice big inhale. Slowly exhale and try and fold our belly button down to the leg, all right? Inhale. Exhale, fold. Okay, that's one. Try your best to keep your back relatively straight. If you're not bending like this and there's a lot of pressure on one joint, it's mostly okay, but the straighter you keep your back, the healthier it will be for, the little vertebrae in your back and the squishy, soft parts that don't need to get squished hard every time you do this stretch. Cool? From here, I hope you've taken some normal breaths because we're doing one more inhale, exhale, and we're going to move on and start holding that stretch. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. Feel that hamstring tightening up. Exhale. And once you're here, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Keep on trying to bring that belly button down to the ground. It's not about your chest. It's not about your head. It's the belly button that we are focused on. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on, out of that stretch. Oh, bend the knee, chill, relax. Do a Captain Morgan stance if you know what I'm talking about. We are going to switch over to the other side. Let's go. I just stretched out my right leg, and I'm going to turn around, stretch out to the left leg. So that means the right leg, the leg we just stretched, is on the cushion. I say this because I somehow forget, and I have to rethink this through every single time we switch. And I don't know why that is. Anyways, I hope you're in position. Pull that leg into the hip socket. Fold the belly button down. Feel the hamstrings tightening up. Again, it's about the belly button. It's not the back. It's not the head. It's the belly button. So stick that belly button down. Now, inhale, exhale. Let's go. Inhale. Slow exhale and fold. Your hamstrings are going to tighten up. It's going to go a little crazy. If you are feeling a little bit of knee discomfort right now, you can give your knee a little bit of a bend. That would take pressure off of the knee, but it also reduces the intensity of the hamstring stretch. So I want you to try to bring your belly button really, really, really low, so low that your chest is also going to be down. It's not us curling our chest. Our back is flat and our chest is also down. That's how much we're folding at the hips. And then we can straighten that leg afterwards, so the painful part comes all the way at the end. Cool? For everybody else, straighten out that leg, fold that belly button down, and one more inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Come on, down. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. One of the reasons why we do this kneeling variation is because gravity is helping to pull our chest down, giving us a little bit of support. And that's awesome. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of that stretch. Your hamstrings, your calves, maybe your toes are a little bit tingly. That is all signs everything is a-okay. You can grab that cushion, get rid of it. You don't need it anymore. That's the only time we needed that soft cushion. It's time. Let's move on. Second stretch. Cossack, sorry, what am I saying? Butterfly stretch. Butterfly stretch looks like this. We are sitting our butts down, bring our feet together, pulling them in, and it's gonna be a little bit like this. If you are already super flexible, maybe you can fold really far forward. My hips don't like it. They're not so good at this part right here. And so I'm gonna show you the best way to give yourself a little support so you can focus on the parts that matter. Right here, I got a table leg. It is just sturdy enough that I feel like it is reliable, but on either side, we have some walls. I recommend you find a little section of wall and get your hips, your shoulders, your head against said wall so that your back is almost pushing against the wall. Bring your feet in, pull together, and when you are back into this stretchy position that we're gonna work on, you might feel that your mid-back, your just below the shoulders are pushing into the wall, and that is exactly what we want. We want the wall to support you so you can focus on the stretch here at the groin. The butterfly stretch is about the groin and the hips, right? So we wanna make sure that when we are working on them, we're working on the right thing. Once you are here, the goal is to pull the knees into the ground or push the knees into the ground. Get as low as you can, open up the groin. And I want you to do that with your outer thigh muscles and your glutes. every time we stretch, we want to try our best to find how to strengthen the muscles so that we can control those positions that we are getting into. This is one of those ways. We're going to contract those muscles, open up the hips, and you're just going to try. Bring the knees down as low as you can, and once you are basically as low as you can get for now, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure from there. You're going to start feeling pressure in the back, upper back, and in the back of your head as you do this, because your arms are pushing into your legs and your arms are also pushing back into the wall. That is how we get the most stability and focus on this stretch. You might be able to see my knees hitting here and hitting here. So that is the end of my stretch against the wall, and I'm going to move over to this table leg. You should keep using the wall as long as you have a wall that works. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Don't hold your breath. Remember to breathe. And I know I told you to contract those outer thigh muscles and glutes to get you started. You can relax those as well. You can let them chill out for a second, and then you can start flexing them again, and you can let them relax. You can start flexing them again and see what happens. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep on pushing. Bring those knees to the ground. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow. All right, let your hands go. And if you've been really pushing on those legs, contracting the muscles, your legs might feel like they're a little bit stuck, like they can't remember how to move. That's a-okay. You just got to give them a light push, some light movement, and they will remember that they're supposed to be legs and they have to help us stand up off the ground. All right, and that is a perfect transition to some standing pancake. Our third stretch is the standing pancake, and it looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs. It doesn't have to be super wide. We're going to fold at the hips and get this upper back close to horizontal. From the side, it looks a little bit like this, like you're just trying to touch your toes, except your legs are a little bit further wide open. We are at the starting point of the standing pancake, and there's a bunch of ways to make this a little bit more exciting, a little bit more difficult, a little bit more hard. From here, you can, because you're folded forward, you can try and see if you can get a little bit deeper into that open leg stretch position. You can see if you want to hold something and stick your arms out in front of you to really pull your hips down. If that's a little too intense, you can get rid of that. Just put your arms up. If that's too intense, you can hug your chest. And if the whole thing just gets overwhelming at some point, you can always put your hands down to give yourself a little bit of a break. If you get into this position and you feel like you're falling forward onto your face and it's too hard to control, you can imagine sticking your butt behind you and folding a little bit so that your center of gravity, or like your belly button, is closer to where your ankles are. Cool? I hope that helps, because that's all the information I got for now. Let's go. Get into position. Make it as hard or as easy as you'd like. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands down. Bring your legs in. If your legs are feeling super tired, that is absolutely normal. Wiggle your toes and your heels in until you can get back into something close to standing. Waddle around as you emotionally deal with the suffering we just put ourselves through. And take a break, relax, drink some water, enjoy yourself. What we just did was put a whole bunch of stress into the inner thigh muscles. These are called the adductors, ADDUCTOR, and their job is to pull your leg towards the center of your body. So when you do the opposite, when you hang out in this type of position, you're all stretched out, they are going to be kind of weak because that's not the range of motion that they're practiced at being strong in. And you're just hanging out holding it here, so they're straining real hard to keep you from slipping out and, I don't know, hitting your butt on the ground, which is what we want, but it's not what your body wants. Your body thinks it's a crazy position. Don't you go get an instant knee splits, all right? So our adductors are firing, and the further out we get into that position, the harder they're going to be contracting, but the weaker they will be, so it'll just be painful. That's everything that you're experiencing right now. That is, you're weak, you're not flexible, and your body is making you suffer for it. So that's why we train, to make sure this gets better. Cool. All right. From here, let's talk about the hamstrings. The hamstrings tie basically just below your knee and behind your knee, and they go right into the bottom of your hip bone. So if you've ever seen a skeleton, you know, the pelvis looks like this weird heart-shaped thing, right? The hamstrings tie right into the bottom of that pelvis. So it looks like, probably like right here in the bottoms of your butt. If you were to fold forward, the bottoms of your butt go from here to like here, right? So they move up and back a couple of inches like so. And that is your hamstring stretch. And it doesn't matter if your knees are together and bent or whatever and straight, or if they're wide, like you're doing the pancake. If you are bending your hips and you're folding forward, your hamstrings are getting stretched. They're gonna scream at you, they're gonna be unhappy, and that is all completely, totally normal. So, now that you've got a little tiny bit of anatomy in you, I think we've relaxed enough so that we can move on into the pigeon or the figure four. The goal of this next stretch is to bring this ankle up to the opposite side of the body, bring that ankle up, fold, and bring the belly button and the chest down to that leg so that you feel the stretch out here in the side of the glute, in that side of the hip. We got two main ways to get into this stretch. The first one is the pigeon stretch. If you've done some yoga, it looks basically like this, right? The second is the figure four stretch. And it's a little bit easier to get into. It's a little bit easier to control. There's a little less technique involved. I'm pretty sure I demonstrated the pigeon yesterday, so today is a figure four day. We are going to lay on our backs. If you are still in bed and watching, you can definitely do this from bed. Extend one of these legs up into the air, cross it over to the other side, so you got this nice little triangle thing going on. If you extend this leg, maybe it'll look like an upside down number 4. We're gonna reach our arms through that triangle, reach around, and we're gonna pull the leg towards us. Cool? That's it. Figure four is straightforward. Yeah, I'm gonna spin around to the side like a little turtle stuck on its back to show you that we wanna feel the stretch here in the side of the hip. All right? Pull, 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. If you have some knee pain, knee discomfort, you might be feeling a lot of pressure in the knee right now because you're putting torque into the ankle, and instead of pulling all the way into the hip, maybe you're feeling it in the knee. Cup that knee, give it some love, give it a little bit of a hug, and that should help. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. This isn't an ab exercise. You don't have to curl up into a ball. This is a stretch here for the outer hip side glute area. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The figure four is a great stretch. The only con, the main con, is you gotta work really hard to pull on your leg to feel the stretch. And that means you can't just go taking a nap when you do this. You're laying on your back, you're relaxing after a lot of work, and it's like, finally, some chill time. But it's not actually that chill. Come on, keep pulling on your legs. Let's go. Cross your leg to the other side. Reach your arms through, pull on that knee. If your knee needs a little support, you can cup it with your hands. You can wrap your elbow around it and pull that leg in towards your chest. I'm gonna turtle spin on my back around. Ugh. Why am I so sweaty? I'm stuck to the ground today. Okay, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28. This is the last stretch before the side splits, by the way. We got 3 rounds of side splits. They're 30 seconds each. So it's a lot of side splits compared to everything else that we're doing, where it's just 1 round of 30 seconds. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Relax, but don't relax too much. Keep on pulling on it like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You might find one of your legs is way more flexible than the other. 3, 2, 1, 0. And having different amounts of flexibility on either leg is pretty normal. It's just like how you have one arm that's stronger than the other, you probably have one leg that's stronger than the other. Whenever you get to a set of stairs, maybe you take a step with your right leg first every time. Or maybe if you're jumping, you jump off your right leg. Then your right leg might be a little bit stronger, but it also might be a little less flexible. That's how it goes. Okay, we are all done with all the stretches, all the warm-up that we do prior to the side splits. We pre-stretch, we really focus on different muscles, different parts of the side split individually, so that when we get into the side splits, we combine all those pieces and we don't struggle nearly as much. If you have somehow stuck it through all the way to this point and you have no idea what this show is about, we do 45 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little community. I try to bring good energy into the internet, and I hope you bring good energy into the chat, get to know each other. Hopefully, if we practice enough consistency, struggle on the floor together enough, we'll make a whole bunch of progress towards our side split goals. I am not quite there yet. I'm really close. I'm not quite there. So this is as much for me as it is for you. If that sounds fun, if this feels encouraging, if this feels like a really good way to get a little bit of exercise, then I hope you consider following, subscribing, doing all those cool things. Keep coming back because we're here every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, grab a sip of water, grab some coffee. It's time for some side splits. The coffee started hot and I was sipping, but the whole bottom half of that cup was pretty much lukewarm, so I went, chugged it. I should not have chugged it that fast. Okay, whew. There we go. I was waiting for that air to come back or whatever. It's time for some side splits. Let's do it. Before we drop all the way in and start suffering, let's talk about safety for a second. I have a table over here, and I recommend you, instead of using a table, actually use a wall. I'm going to turn this camera over this way. Whew, wall time. And the reason why I want you to get to a wall is because we spent a lot of time sort of in this deep side split position, obviously because we're doing side splits. And if you start falling forward, or if you start folding forward, we're basically in the position that we want to be. This is how we control and get into the side split. But if you start falling backwards, it gets really scary. You're like, whoa, oh no, I'm falling. Luckily, I have a wall right behind me that I fell into, and it totally kept me safe. Didn't have to worry. The tops of my shoulders, maybe my mid-back, hit the wall first. And I was like, oh, cool. No problem. So that's what I want you to have. I want you to make sure that you cannot fall backwards, you cannot bust your butt, and you have a little bit of support behind you. This could be a couch. As long as it's stable, as long as it does not start sliding backwards as soon as you put pressure against it, that will work. I'm going to use this table so I can face you guys, and it is just high enough that if I did fall backwards, I would look like I didn't fall backwards. I would look like I was just chilling in a side split, and as if I was doing this entirely on purpose. So I'm going to use this. All right, I'm going to turn the camera back around, center it on the hallway, and we will continue with some side splits. That was a tiny bit of safety. We care about safety because the more chill, the more comfortable, the more safe you feel, the easier it will be to relax. And at the end of the day, stretching is making sure those muscles are relaxed so that you can get into crazy ass positions. Let's go. Open up those legs. Nice and wide as you can get, but your hips should not feel pain, not yet. Fold forward, put your hands down like you're gonna do a little bit of a push-up. This push-up is not about the push-up itself. It's about pushing weight into your hands so that there's less weight in your legs, and that makes it possible to externally rotate the legs. Your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up, and you're doing that on both sides. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Once you've done this, there should be no pain in your hips from getting into the side split position, and you might find your feet are starting to slide out from underneath you and getting into a wider side split. If that's the case, everything is going perfectly. Walk your hands back towards your hips. We're taking the pressure we kind of put over there into our arms. We're putting it right back into our legs, helping us get into a deeper side split. Oh man, it's gonna get intense. So make sure to breathe. Don't hold your breath. We're gonna do one last thing. We're gonna wiggle from side to side just a little bit. Push our legs out. There's friction holding your heels back, and we are beating it with some wiggling. Yeah. Okay. If you cannot go any further and you're stuck, then it's time for our 30 seconds of stretching. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward, walk your hands forward, pull your legs in slowly, and come into a kneeling position. You might be feeling a lot of tension here in the outsides of these hips, and it might take a second to pull those knees in. We're gonna chill here for a second, maybe a little bit more than a second, not too long. Come back into standing when you can, and we're gonna try to undo some of that tension that we just put into our legs. What we're gonna do is sort of forced relaxation. We're gonna sort of flick our legs and our arms out like you just got out of the pool, as you got out of the water at the beach, and you're trying to shake the water off your legs. That's what we want. Flick, 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 flick. And as you get a little bit more comfortable with this, I want you to shake out that leg. Shake, 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 shake. We want to get that leg all floppy, loose, and that is how we know, that's how we prove to ourselves that the leg muscles are relaxed. Because if they were still really tense, then they would move like this, a little bit like a robot dude. That's not what we're going for. We're going for nice and relaxed so that we can recover as much as possible in between each of our side split stretches, and we can get the most out of each side split stretch. Okay, shake out those legs. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. I like to compare the motion to a fresh pot of overcooked spaghetti. You pull up and it's like blah, 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 blah. We want blah, 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 for our legs, and preferably want it for the hips too, but I think we're gonna have to do that a little bit more manually. For the hips, to loosen up these muscles that were struggling really hard to bring your knees into that kneeling position, I want you to pop into a little bit of a squat. Point your knees out just a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. We're not going deep, just a little bit. Have a little bend in the knee. Come up onto the balls of your feet. And I want you to rotate that leg in and out. All right? All of this movement is coming from the hip socket. So where the leg attaches to your pelvis. It's not coming from, actually, I don't know. You're not doing so much ankle stuff. There's not so much going on with the knee. We're pointing the knee in, but the knee's angles are not changing at all. All the movement is coming from that hip socket. So we're gonna point it out, in, out, in. You only have to do a couple. We've probably done way more than we need to already. Switch to the other side. In, out, in, out, in, out, and once you have done a couple of those, the hip muscles out here are feeling a little bit more comfy, a little bit more loose. Then we're gonna wrap up this first side split stretch with a little bit of joint checks. Joint checks look like this. We are just making sure everything feels good, everything feels and functions as normal, because we just put a lot of pressure into that leg, into the hips. We're doing a couple of hip circles. We're gonna do some knee raises. If everything feels normal, move right on. We're gonna pop into a squat. We're gonna put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankle, put some pressure on the feet, the toes. Try a calf raise, work on that balance a little bit. And if everything is feeling normal, everything is feeling okay, then we're basically ready to move on into side split number 2. I feel like I have not come back to the chat at all in a while, so I'm gonna come in for a second and see what's up. Whew. We got lots of Merry Christmases, and we got Anish announcing that they're from India. Whew. And Foxy has had good food for Christmas. Very nice. Gayeta says, feels good. Charles Darcy says, I definitely needed this. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency on Christmas Day. Hope you're having fun. Tori says, my legs started trembling like crazy. Yeah, the side split, the way that we're getting into it, we're putting a lot of pressure into the legs to basically hold our bodies up, right? Some of the weight is being held by our arms like this, and a lot of it is held by the legs. We're putting the weight in to help push the legs down, but of course, since we are not all the way down, our muscles are also contracting to fight us from bringing the legs down, and that contraction is what starts that trembling. Let's see, standing pancake and the splits. You must be responding to a question. Travel Darcy is answering all of the stretches in this live. Target the lower body. Nice, thank you. Okay. Make you feel warm and stretching cold. Anne says, I do the stretch every day too, and make sure you feel warm and aren't stretching cold. Absolutely. This show started almost an hour ago, so I must have been talking a ton. We start with 3 active warm-up exercises: hip cars, which look a little bit like this, some elephant walks, which look a little bit like this, and some Cossack switches, which look a little bit like this, to warm up before we start doing any of the stretches. And absolutely, warm-up is super important. If you are not warmed up, if you come in the middle of the show and you want to just follow along, definitely be very gentle and try not to do anything particularly crazy. Take your time to build up into a little bit more flexibility. You can absolutely just start doing the side split right from the beginning, but your first couple of rounds is going to have to be a lot less intense so that your muscles can warm up, right? And yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. Let's go. Side split number 2. We are getting into it. Let's get one step in front of that wall, in front of the thing you're going to hang out on when you fall backwards, and it's going to help make you feel safe. Open up those legs decently wide, fold forward at the hips, put your hands down, do a little mini push-up so you know that you have weight in your arms. Weight in your arms means there's less weight in your legs, so it's easier to externally rotate. External rotation means heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. From here, you can try to get into a deeper side split right there. You can walk your hands back towards your hips and put that pressure, we kind of shift it over there, right back into our legs, help deepen the stretch. Then we're gonna do a wiggle to break that friction, holding our legs back. And once you are as deep as you can get for now, let's go. 30 seconds, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. If you are a little tired and don't want your legs to tremble as bad, you can get yourself a little bit of support in the form of maybe some yoga blocks, because these are lightweight and soft-ish, and give yourself a little bit of support this way. I try not to, because we have 30 seconds. We're trying to make them count. But if you're going to sit there for longer than that, yoga blocks are a good tool to have. I probably should have kept counting, but I talked so much. Let's say 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. You can also add in a wiggle at any time, see if you get a little bit deeper. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward, pull your legs in. Come back into that kneeling position. I'm gonna casually throw things out of the way while I wait for my legs to start working. And give your hips a light massage, some gentle love. Come back into standing. We're gonna shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Again, if you're just starting out, this is your first time, you can focus on flicking water off your hands and feet like you just got out of the pool. You were in a bathroom with no paper towels and you're just going flah, flah, flah. I don't know why your feet are wet in this example. That's kind of gross, I'm sure. But work with me. Flick out those legs, flick out the hands, shake out the legs. As you get more comfortable with that flicking motion, you can pick up the intensity. You can try to add to it, add some fun. Shake, wiggle, flop. Get that ankle nice and loose. Rotate a little at the hip. Shake out the leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. We are overcooked spaghetti, ramen noodles, cup of noodles that you have forgotten on the counter. We are shaking it out. 5 to 10 seconds is probably enough. And the more you do this, the more your brain will be trained to relax. So it'll actually get faster and faster over time. But none of that is important for the moment because we're moving on into working out that hip. We're gonna pop in that mini squat. We're gonna bend the knee a little bit, come onto the balls of our toes, open up that hip to the outside, bring it in, bring it out, bring it in, bring it out. Remember, the pelvis is not moving. All of the movement is coming from that thigh bone, that leg bone. And other side, let's go. In, out, in, out, in, out. If you want, you can pretend we're doing like some stanky leg. We're doing some dances. You can do them at the same time. And that is our leg stuff, our hip stuff. I hope you're feeling a little bit relaxed. Feel free to play some hacky sack just to loosen up those hips a little bit more. And let's do some joint checks. We are just doing some hip circles from side to side, doing some high knees. If everything feels normal, you can just move right on. You don't have to do as many as I'm doing. Not that I'm doing that many. Move on to that mini squat. Fold at the hips, fold at the knees, put some pressure into those ankles, come up onto those toes, do a little bit of a calf raise. See if you can get all of those muscles working well together. And if they do, or if they're as normal as it is for you, because maybe you don't do that type of movement very often, then we're ready for side split number 3. Side split number 3, drum roll. Let's get to that wall or table or couch, whatever you're using for support. Stand one step in front of it, open up those legs, breathe, fold at the hips, put your hands down like you're doing a push-up. Externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are up. Walk the hands back as your legs get into a deeper side split. Put the weight back into your legs and do a little wiggle from side to side. Break that last little bit of friction holding your feet back. Once you're as deep as you can get, it's time for a final 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Almost done. 4, 3 again. I felt like I counted fast. 2 again. 1, 0. Okay, crawl your hands forward. Pull the legs in. If your legs don't want to come in and you just want to lie down with your face on the ground, that's fine by me too. We will rest here for a couple seconds. Breathe. And when you can, come back into standing. Let's go. One last time. We are shaking it out. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. These are silly looking. If you're just joining in for one of your first couple of times, know that this is all about relaxing the muscles and getting them to be relaxed as quickly as possible and forcing them to relax as quickly as possible. And these are useful for any time where you feel like there's a lot of tension built up. So if you're doing bicep curls, this is my standard example, and you're on, I don't know, round 3, you're on set 3, you finish set 3, you're taking your little rest break before set number 4, and you know already your elbow's totally bent, you can't even fully extend your arm, and you're already like walking around like this, right? And your arm just wants to stay like this, your bicep is all big and poofy and it looks badass, and you're like, okay, cool. So my arm can only go from this to this, and that is the opposite of what we want. We want the muscles to be relaxed, we want them to be loose, so that to the best of your ability, you can fully extend that arm, straighten it out in between every single set. That is what the shaky stuff is for. It's so that your muscles stay loose, so that when you contract them, you can get a little bit more power out of them when you want to. All right. I hope your legs have been shaken out, because I forgot what I was doing while I was explaining the bicep thing. Let's pop into that squatty position. Leg in and out, and in, and out, and in, and out. Other side, in, out, in, out, in, out. Just a couple is plenty. We're gonna do the checks one last time. You can slow these down. If you felt like there was something that was a little bit snaggy, but like not enough for you to go address in the previous rounds, take your time now. We are done with the side splits. Now it's just making sure your body is gonna work well for whatever else you gotta do today. So take a moment, make sure everything is working well with those hip circles and high knees. Pop into that squat, fold at the hips, fold at the knees, put some pressure into those ankles, onto those toesies. Do that calf raise. Make sure everything is coordinated and working well together. And if that is feeling normal enough, then we are all good. We are done. It is time to wrap up our Christmas Day side splits show. I am super out of breath. Okay, dropping the camera down, checking the chat, and that's it. That's it. Congratulations, everybody. You are done with your workout. I'm super out of breath. All right, I'm gonna scroll. Tori says, my legs started trembling like crazy. I believe I read that chat already, so I am already where I need to be. Trevor Doraxy says, I definitely needed that. And then, because TikTok knows I am scrolling, it jumps to the very bottom of the chat instead of where I need to be. Lovely. Gaeta says, feels good. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And I knew that I would. 999 says, second night in here, loving the quality of these lives. Dude, thank you. I appreciate it. That's very kind. I also appreciate that you're coming in Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for your first 2 rounds. That is awesome. Thank you for being here. Tent Dweller says, I need this. Will return 100%. It sounds like a movie announcement. Dune will return. Kayeta, I never think you count fast. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think when you're suffering on the ground, you're waiting for me to finish counting. It probably never seems fast. But my brain is moving through a whole bunch of things that I'm trying to address in between the counts without, I'm trying to make this show as short as possible. So I'm trying to pump tons of information into your brains as fast as possible. And I don't think it's the most effective way to do this, but I'm trying to keep the show welcoming for new people who are just popping in so that they can get right into a stretch and get a little bit of exercise, even if they only stay for a minute or 2. And that means I'm just constantly thinking about stuff while we're counting. And somehow, I don't know, over the last year, the counting has turned into like just muscle memory. My words come out of my mouth, but I'm not thinking about them at all. And so sometimes I'll just teleport from 20 seconds to 5 seconds. I'll be like, did I actually say all those numbers? Because I don't know if that actually happened. Because I've just done it so much, my brain turns off for that portion of the count. And I go, suspicious. Did I really just think about something for 15 seconds? Is that is that what happened? Yeah. And then when I try to think about just the numbers, it's not nearly as fun because it's just suffering. Suffering's not fun. Okay, Gayata says, proud of everyone. Lovely, lovely. Thank you for being so encouraging in the chat, Gayata. It's awesome. Charles Roxy says, this was great. Austin says, thank you. I'll try to keep up. Amazing. Yeah, we are here at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community in the chat, hang out with each other, answering questions as they come in, and hopefully that means that we will suffer on the ground together very consistently and build a lot of mobility together. So if that sounds fun, that sounds cool, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We are training a little bit every day towards those side splits. And, you know, if you just want to hit mobility, don't worry. Side splits are like some end game stuff, right? You kind of have to build up a ton of hip mobility first before you get there. So yeah, that's the spiel. Follow, subscribe, keep coming back. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. On weekends, I'm trying to integrate a 9 a.m. Eastern show as well, so that we do double duty on weekends to make your life a little bit easier, since you probably have more time on the weekends. That's it. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope you're sweating. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Thank you for spending your evening with me, and I hope to see you tomorrow. With that, I think it's time to wrap up. I'm closing off the chat here on YouTube first. Goodbye, everybody. And in there.